Have you ever wondered if the mythical creatures from ancient legends were more than just stories? What if I told you that some of the most fearsome monsters and enchanting beasts were actually inspired by real animals? Get ready, because today we're diving deep into the past to uncover the top 7 real creatures that sparked some of the world's most enduring myths. First up, let's talk about the Kraken. This legendary sea monster, famous for pulling ships down into the depths, terrified sailors for centuries. But where did this idea come from? The most likely culprit is the giant squid. Imagine being a sailor in the olden days, on a small wooden ship, and suddenly seeing a massive tentacle, as thick as a tree trunk, rise from the water. Giant squids can grow up to 43 feet long, and while they don't actively hunt ships, finding a dead one washed ashore or encountering one in the deep ocean would be enough to fuel tales of a monstrous beast capable of anything. The sheer size and alien appearance of a giant squid perfectly match the descriptions of the Kraken. It's a classic case of reality being just as strange as fiction. Next, we have the griffin, a majestic creature with the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle. It was said to guard vast treasures in the mountains. For a long time, historians were puzzled. But then, paleontologists began digging in the Gobi Desert, along the trade routes of the ancient Scythians. The very people who spread the griffin myths. What did they find? Skeletons of a dinosaur called the Think about it. This dinosaur had a 4-legged body, a sharp, beak-like mouth, and a bony frill on its head that could easily be mistaken for wings or large ears by someone who had never seen a dinosaur. When these skeletons eroded out of the desert sands, ancient gold miners probably stumbled upon them and thought they had found the remains of a fearsome treasure-guarding beast. The bones of the Protoceratops became the proof of the griffin's existence. Let's move on to the Cyclops, the one-eyed giants from Greek mythology, most famously encountered by Odysseus. The origin of this myth is believed to be a fascinating case of misinterpretation. On the islands of Crete and Sicily, fossilized skulls of an extinct species of dwarf elephant have been found. These skulls are massive, and right in the middle of the forehead, there's a huge single nasal cavity where the trunk would have attached. To an ancient Greek who had never seen an elephant, what would this look like? A single, giant eye socket. It's easy to see how they would construct the image of a giant, one-eyed humanoid from these enormous, strange skulls. The legend of the Cyclops is a powerful reminder of how our ancestors tried to make sense of a world full of mysteries they could unexplain. Now, for a creature of the skies, dragons. From the fire-breathing beasts of Europe to the wise, serpentine dragons of Asia, these creatures are a global phenomenon. So, what could have inspired them? There isn't just one answer. It's a combination of things. For one, the discovery of dinosaur fossils, like those of a T-Rex or other large reptiles, would have been mind-boggling to ancient people. Gigantic bones buried in the earth must be a dragon. But there's also a living candidate, the Nile crocodile. These are huge, powerful reptiles with armored skin, formidable teeth, and a roar that can be terrifying. They live in rivers, often seen as gateways to the underworld. In some cultures, large snakes like pythons or even whales, whose spouts of water could be mistaken for smoke or fire, also contributed to the dragon mythos. The dragon is a composite monster, built from humanity's collective fear and awe of the world's most powerful reptiles and mysterious fossils. Ever heard of the unicorn? The pure white horse, with a single magical horn. This legend is surprisingly persistent, and its origins might be simpler than you think. While narwhals, the unicorns of the sea, with their long spiraled tusk, certainly contributed to the myth, especially as their tusks were sold as unicorn horns in medieval Europe. There's another land-based animal to consider. Accounts from ancient travelers, like the Greek physician Ctesias, described a wild ass in India that was white, with a horn on its forehead. He was most likely describing the Indian rhinoceros. While it doesn't look like a horse, stories change as they're retold over and over. A description of a powerful one-horned animal could easily morph into the elegant, horse-like creature we know today. Also, genetic mutations can sometimes cause goats or deer to be born with their 2 horns fused into one. creating a real-life unicorn that would have seemed magical to ancient peoples. Let's talk about mermaids. The alluring half-human, half-fish creatures who sing sailors to their doom. This myth is so widespread, but could there be a real animal behind it? For lonely, tired sailors who had been at sea for months, the answer is likely yes. The prime suspects are manatees and dugongs, also known as sea cows. From a distance, especially in murky water or poor light, these large, slow-moving marine mammals could be mistaken for a person. They have front flippers they can use to hold their young, and their heads can bob above the water in a surprisingly human-like way. Christopher Columbus himself recorded in his journal that he saw 3 mermaids on his voyage to the Americas, but noted they were not as beautiful as they are painted. He was almost certainly looking at manatees. It's a bit of a letdown from the beautiful sirens of legend, but it makes perfect sense. Finally, we have the legendary Hydra, the multi-headed serpent that grew 2 heads for every one that was cut off, famously battled by Heracles. This seems purely fantastical, right? Well, not entirely. The inspiration for the Hydra might come from a simple, real-world phenomenon observed in certain animals, particularly some species of worms and starfish. If you cut a planarian flatworm in half, it doesn't die. Both halves regenerate into a complete worm. Sometimes, if a cut isn't clean, it can even regenerate multiple heads on one body. Similarly, some starfish can regrow an entire body from a single severed arm. Imagine an ancient Greek observing this incredible regeneration in a small creature. Now, amplify that concept to the scale of a monstrous snake, and you have the Hydra. It's a myth born from the genuine, almost magical biological process of regeneration. So there you have it. From the deep sea to the desert sands, the natural world is full of wonders that are just as incredible as the myths they inspired. The kraken, the griffin, the cyclops, dragons, unicorns, mermaids, and the Hydra, all of these legendary beasts have a connection to real creatures. A testament to our ancestors' attempts to explain the amazing and sometimes terrifying world around them. It just goes to show that sometimes, the most fantastic stories have their roots right here, in reality. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. See you next time.